Hi there, it's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and I've got something interesting to show you. I'd give you a deck of cards, and you could shuffle the cards any way that you like. Once you're pleased and satisfied that the cards are indeed mixed up to your liking, I'd have you set the cards down and then give the deck a cut anywhere that you like, just like that. And once you're satisfied with it, I have something to show you. I always carry on me in my wallet. I carry with me a little envelope with my money, and then I have an envelope, and inside that envelope I keep ideas that I find inspiring, ideas that I think may be useful at some time, and I've left one in here just for such occasion as today, and I wanted to share it with you. So what I would have you do is I'd have you take a look inside the envelope. You can take the piece of paper out, see if we can get it out, and you see that the piece of paper says 9S. I don't know if you can see that. 9S. I'm not sure exactly what that stands for or what the purpose is, but I did want to share it with you. And if we look where you cut, you'll see that we cut to the Nine of Spades. So this is a simple idea that I had. Actually, that was a treatment for kind of the apocalypse moment when things go wrong. I had been playing around with a number of not really psychological forces, but some really kind of on-the-nose equivoque ideas, and trying to make my equivoque in the really more obvious circumstances look less obvious by relying on some subtle psychological forces. The problem with that is that whenever you're using a psychological force and there's an opportunity for things to go wrong, things will go wrong. It does happen. So you need to always have an out whenever you're using a sort of psychological force or something that has a margin of error that is ingrained in it. So I was thinking about what the possible outs are that you can have readily available. And one of them, of course, is, any kind of, with a deck of cards, if it's a picked card or thought of card kind of situation, you can have a 52 out sort of situation, like with an invisible deck is a 52 out device. Another one that I have a way that I carry, have carried, Kenton Knepper's Colossal Killer, that you can use as a 52 multiple out if you carry the right kind of configuration in your wallet. I used to do that and I never used it. I just never had a reason, so I stopped carrying that. But one that occurred to me was the use of a device that is not usually used by card magicians. It's used mostly by mentalists, and it's used fairly sparingly these days. But that is this little device here, if I can find it. This guy right here, which is a thumb writer. Swami Gimmick, or this is the thumb writer variation of that idea. It's got a piece of lead that's in there. And one thing that I started to do as I was using this a little bit more and more, less related to mentalism and more to do with kind of chance predictions, because I can't really do a mentalism act with the people that I know and that know me. It just doesn't fly. What I did is I got a set of just 3 really cheap colored, the pencils are colored, but they're drafting pencils. And they have this 2.0 lead that goes along with the thumb writer. So that way, whenever I'm writing with a writing utensil that actually matches the lead. So that's an idea. For $15, you can get a set of 3 pencils and extra lead that of course you can break off and replace in your thumb writer. So you get a good deal with that. And if you just don't use it for all of your writing, you just use it for that, this could last you a very, very long time. So I had been using this for some things, just effects that use the gimmick. And I was thinking about using the thumb writer as an out, right? I think it was something I read in that Banachek talked about keeping Post-it notes in his pocket and doing pocket writing. So you reach in and you write with the Swami Gimmick, and you take out the Post-it note and you have it as an out for a number of psychological forces. And I thought about that, and I thought, that's a really, really good, clean way to do it. My problem is I can't do pocket writing very well, even with just simple digits. I find that when I need to use a writer, my best, cleanest writing with practice is when it's done here. And of course, you can put Post-it notes in your hand and write one-handed, and that works pretty good. But I was thinking about this wallet that I got recently. This is not a magic gimmick at all. This is just a regular minimalist wallet. What had happened was on Etsy, the online store, I ordered a minimalist watch. I got this because it has no numbers on it and it doesn't have a brand. It was a $5, just kind of plain Jane, simple Japanese movement watch, really cheap, $5 for the watch itself. I paid more for the postage, I think, than I did for the watch. And I bought this and the order got messed up. It never shipped. And I went back and forth with the vendor and I said, you know, this thing never came. I'm kind of disappointed. I've been waiting a couple weeks. And finally they said, well, we're going to send you another one and we'll get it right. We'll make sure it gets out to you and we'll send you a couple of extra things too from the store. One of the things they sent me was this little minimalist wallet and I got it. And I thought, well, I have no use for that. It's just been sitting on a shelf. And I got to thinking about this the other day. And this is sometimes marketed as a magic wallet. I've got some money in here, I'll get it out. And the money's really just for show. I think if I was going to use this is theoretical, I haven't used this yet. But if I was going to use this, I'd want to have something else in it, money or some credit cards or something like that, or a driver's license. I've always seen this advertised as a magic wallet. And I've also known of kind of a wooden toy that works this way. It's a string of planks with this design in ribbons, X and then two parallel X, and it's one ribbon that kind of threads through. And actually, if you've known the Rubik's puzzles, the Rubik's magic puzzle is, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it does the same design. It's a thread design that goes through different planks, and it allows them to pivot kind of against opposing sides. So the top side comes down and then it pivots to the other side. You can see how this works. It's kind of an X sort of formation between with this X elastic band and then this parallel elastic band. The idea there being that you could take something like I don't know, a card or whatever, you can put it in one side so it's on the parallel line side and then close. You've seen these before. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but if you've never seen this, you put it on this side and then you close it. And if you open it on the opposite side, now it has the X pattern on it. And it's just kind of a tricky looking thing, right? It's a simple explanation, but it looks kind of interesting. It's a sort of a kid's novelty kind of idea. Well, they're making minimalist wallets like this now that are just very simple wallets where you stick your money in one side or whatever, and it's just same design, same idea. And it's got some slots for credit cards, whatever you want to do. I was thinking about this and keeping a piece of paper on this side where you have the parallel lines, and the paper would then be wide open. You can see over there. And I thought, you know, on this, I could use this. I could take it out, open the paper on that side and write on it with the thumb, close it up, and then when I reveal, you can see that the X is right over the writing. And I thought, well, that looks like it's clean. It looks like it's difficult to get to, like it really has been sitting in there and it's been reserved for this moment. There's no way I could have just written on it. And I thought, well, that's kind of one step up that would allow me to write in the open on a flat surface rather than doing it in the pocket. I'd be able to write cleaner. And then I was looking at the design and I thought, oh my goodness, I think I could actually make an insert gimmick, an envelope, that would actually make this even better. It would look even better. And what I did is I came up with this gimmick. It's a piece of paper. You can see what it has. It has the flap on the top. I just cut this out of cardstock. On the bottom, it has another flap that sits up and then a flap that goes across the center. And if it's all closed up, it looks like an envelope. It looks like there's a line on the bottom. And I didn't really worry about that because I thought in the presentation it would look really clean. If this is sitting, this is cut to form such that if it's sitting on the X side, just like this, let me get it in here. If it's sitting on the X side and that flap in the center is lined up with the gap on the parallel line side, It's difficult to get in, which makes it even better. It's very secure. But if that flap inside is in line with the gap over here, what happens is the wallet closes, opens on the opposing side, and now I have a situation where I can get to the paper inside. So what I have here is the piece of paper sitting very securely inside. It's actually held down by the strap on the top and the bottom. Here's the paper, and it's available to me to write with my thumb writer, whatever, a number, or in this case, a card, the value in the suit. And then whenever this closes, I close up the wallet and I go to open it on the other side. You can see now it's securely inside of the envelope. And this looks really, really clean and fair. The spectator can actually pull the note right out of the envelope sitting on that X side. This could not have been messed around with. It's very securely in there. And I'll have to test this out, but I wanted to share it with you. This is not, I'm sure someone's come up with something like this sort of design for probably a wallet design, a magician's wallet kind of situation where you have access in a folding and unfolding. There's so many different types of wallet gimmicks that are out there. And the latest craze I know of from reviews I've seen, I don't own any of these kinds of wallets, but is trying to incorporate various types of gimmicks all on the same wallet. So you can do multiple kinds of tricks. But I just thought of this wallet and I thought, wow, that seems like a pretty good idea. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you. If you have a wallet like this, or you could even make one if you just take a couple of planks of, plastic or wood, make yourself a minimalist wallet. You can do this design, look up Jacob's Ladder or Magic Wallet DIY project online, or you can buy these. These are bought in novelty stores, dollar stores, whatever, but this type of wallet, and then make yourself a cutout envelope gimmick, and you're set to rock and roll with your Swami gimmick, and just help to cover up the idea of thumb writing in such a way that it looks like there's no way you could have been doing that. And that suspicion is kind of left out to the side. As for the cards, obviously these are just marked cards. They just have reader markings on them, and wherever they cut, I can identify what the card is given the situation. But anyway, I thought of this as an out. So you could use it as a trick, but you can also use it as an out. So if you're trying to psychologically force something and you just can't get there, you could say that's interesting because I was thinking of something else. I wrote it down earlier in the day. You take out the wallet and you say, you were thinking of the blah, 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 right? And you say, well, I've got this piece of paper that I've kept in this envelope. You can see very securely. Go ahead and take a look at that. And, you'll hit it. You can always cover and fix, whatever your problem is. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. A thumb writer situation that's, maybe a little bit more accessible to you if your thumb writing takes a little bit of extra time or handling. A good kind of cover-up gimmick that looks very secure. And with those bands on there, I mean, this envelope isn't going to flop open. It's in there. If you present it, especially this way, if you're worried about it, I don't think you need to be, but you can just kind of cover up on the bottom edge there to hold that extra line of the flap down. But it really shouldn't go noticed because this just looks like the bottom end of an envelope where the flap goes up and it's sealed along the bottom. It looks pretty good, pretty fair. So anyway, an idea for you using the Magic Wallet that you can find out there, Jacob's Ladder type design, and an envelope insert and a thumb writer. And don't forget the 2.0 lead pencil to go along with your thumb writer to make everything nice and consistent. And good luck with that. Happy magicking.